All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started this morning with our meeting, our installation of officers and directors meeting. I'm Josh White. I'm the current CAAR president, and I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. All right, thank you for joining us. I know this is a busy time of the year with the holidays. So thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule today. We're really excited for our event. Your safety, of course, is top of mind for us. So in case of an emergency today, I want to point out the closest exits in the room, in addition to the 2 exit doors located in the ballroom, which lead you to the side parking lot over here. We have the 4 doors immediately outside this room leading to the terrace as well. So on the terrace, you can follow the walkway around the building to the front parking lot. You can also exit the ballroom and the pre-function area and leave the way you came in through the front doors. To begin today's meeting, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I invite you to stand and join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Next, we'll move into the approval of the minutes from our November general membership and annual business meeting. The minutes are included in your handouts. Do we have any additions or corrections to the distributed minutes? And if you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand and submit feedback in the Zoom window, chat window. All right, if not, they'll stand approved as distributed. Thank you. Next, I would like us to acknowledge the CAAR antitrust statement. This statement ensures that we are encouraging discussions that promote all realtors and does not restrict competition among members or potential members. We always work to foster a forum for open discussion of diverse opinions without attempting in any way to discourage or sanction any business practice. The CAAR antitrust statement will be acknowledged before every meeting. Zoom attendees can see a full copy of our antitrust statement in their handouts, and those in person, we have them on the table as well for you. We're extremely grateful for our sponsors for today, for stepping up and providing this awesome event. This morning is brought to you courtesy of the following. Our presenting sponsor is Fulton Mortgage Company. And then our supporting sponsors today are Greenwood Homes, Home Warranty, and United Bank Mortgage. Thank you guys so much for stepping up to do this. We also appreciate all of our exhibitors who are with us today. We value the professionalism, service, and support of our affiliates to CAAR and its members. If you haven't visited their tables, please do so before you leave today. At this time, I would like to invite Reed Thompson of Fulton Mortgage Company to share a few words.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks to everybody for having us here. Good morning. My name is Reed Thompson with Fulton Mortgage Company, and it's an honor to be with you here today. First, I just want to take a moment to thank the outgoing CAAR officers. You've done a great job this year, and leadership is one of those things that you don't really understand until you've gone through it, kind of like your first real estate contract. So you really carried the torch this year, did a lot for 2025 and for our whole community, and we're very grateful for all that you did, all the hours that went into that. To the new officers stepping in, congratulations. You're not just inheriting a title, you're inheriting momentum from 2025. And this room's full of people who know how hard this business can be, but they still show up anyway. So if no one said this to you yet this year, thank you for everything you've done for buyers, sellers, and the housing community in Charlottesville in 2025. Now, in the spirit of keeping things simple, because no one came here to hear a mortgage lecture, I just want to take a couple minutes to tell you about how Fulton Mortgage can help you and your clients. So at Fulton, our philosophy is that a mortgage should be a strategic tool, not just part of a transaction. So the products we offer aren't about features, they're about helping your buyers win and keeping your listings moving along, helping you say yes more often. It's not fun to say no, is it? So here's the lightning round version. You ready? We have a new rate reduction modification that lets your past clients lower their rate without refinancing. No appraisal, no income docs, no drama, keeps your clients happy. Happy client remembers their realtor. We have community combo and Home Ready Plus programs for affordability for your first-time buyers, for people that are maybe a little stretched trying to get into their first home. They help buyers get into homes with lower cash to close, powerful monthly payment options, no PMI. They make you the hero on tight deals. We have our construction to permanent loans for people who just can't find what they need on the market. You stay in the relationship longer, and the client gets one closing and one plan. We have some new non-QM and investor products, cash flow products, that give your self-employed buyers and your investors a real financing path, even when their tax returns don't tell a very pretty picture. And of course, doctor loans and jumbo and portfolio loans for high earning but not newly established, let's say, borrowers who need a smooth, confident experience getting into their first house. So to sum it all up, if your clients have a goal, we have a path to help you get there. And in 2026, the goal is simple: more keys and more hands. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Reed. Appreciate you guys being here. I truly believe that when you become a member of CAAR, you're reaching for something higher in both professionalism and also with your purpose in the business. While we may work for different companies, we support each other and our community through the good times and the bad. Inevitably, when a group of committed professionals come together in this way, we form bonds of mutual respect, friendship, and caring with others in our association. As we approach the new year in a time of looking ahead, it's also important to take a moment and look back. This last year has had moments of triumph and deep loss. I would like to read the names of former members who have passed this year. Martha DeGenaret, Charles Downing, Chuck Kincannon, Charles Chuck Thomas Lebo, Virginia Jenny Nelson, Arthur Roland Pittman, Sarah Schroeder, and John Updike. At this time, I ask that we hold a moment of silence in honor and remembrance for these individuals who are our peers and our friends. Thank you. At this time, I would like to welcome our incoming president, Amanda Spigone's family. We are so pleased you are here to witness Amanda's special moment as she becomes installed as president later in this morning's program. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to various industry partners with us this morning from the following: Blue Ridge Home Builders Association, Charlottesville Regional Chamber of Commerce, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, Realtist Chapter of Charlottesville, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, Realtist Board of Richmond, and the Women's Council of Realtors, Blue Ridge. Now it's my distinct pleasure to invite 2026 President-elect of Virginia Realtors, Sherry Mazer and Rick Lugg, CEO of Virginia Realtors, to the podium to offer words of welcome.
Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here with you all this morning in this beautiful city of Charlottesville, Virginia, surrounded by Blue Ridge beauty. What a perfect setting to celebrate the heart of our Realtor family, the people who give their time, their talent, and energy to strengthen our profession and our communities. On behalf of the Virginia Association of Realtors, I want to extend a warm congratulations and heartfelt appreciation to Charlottesville Association of Realtors. Thank you for inviting me and to share in this special morning as we install your new officers and directors. Days like this remind us that what makes our association great and unique is our spirit of service, collaboration, and leadership at every level. As realtors, we know that volunteering, whether at the local association or at the state level, is the engine that keeps our organization strong. The work that you do on committees, in leadership, and in advocacy makes a real difference. It ensures that our members' voices are heard, that our professionalism continues to rise, and that the real estate industry is a vital part of Virginia's economic well-being. And speaking of advocacy, let's talk about RPAC for a moment. You all get it. you understand that RPAC is not just about politics. It's about protecting our business, our clients, and our ability to do what we love. I want to recognize the Charlottesville Association of Realtors for your outstanding RPAC achievements. Your dedication to reaching and exceeding your goals is nothing short of inspiring. Thank you for leading by example and showing what true Realtor commitment looks like. I also want to take a moment to celebrate your very special incoming president, Amanda Spigone. I hope I said it right. Well, see, I thought it was Spigone and somebody else said Spigone. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. It was Josh's fault. Let's put that on the record. Okay. Amanda, as a second generation realtor with 25 years of experience in this industry, I know that you're going to bring a level of heart to this role as president. I can't wait to see all that you accomplish in the year ahead. This association is in excellent hands. As I did my research on your association prior to my visit, I was in awe of the powerful leaders that have served your association. So many I consider dear friends. Denise Ramey, I'm so glad to see you. She was your president. She was Virginia Realtors president. And she was my 2015 VLA mom. Best class ever. No argument. Those VLA bonds really do last a lifetime. To my fellow VAR board member, Donna Patton. Where's Donna? Donna, you've done a great job and you've helped us so much at the state level. To past VAR board member, Quentin Beckham. You were a rock when we needed you. Thank you so much. My Howard Hanna colleague, Michael Guthrie, is here somewhere, I think. Hey, Michael, thank you. And the legendary wealth of knowledge, Pat Jensen. Thank you, Pat Surrey. You know, years ago when I didn't know what I didn't know, I thought Pat Surrey worked for Virginia Realtors. She was our treasurer, I believe, 5 years and maybe served on the board another 4. So she was there for a long, long time. So just thank you for that. Arlene, Ann Burrows, good to see both of you. And then there are some folks who you only need to know by one name. They're people like Elvis, Tiger, Reba, Ringo. Can you hear me now? Do I need to backtrack? So there are a couple other people we know by one name in this association especially, but statewide, and they are Percy and Reeves. So thank you all. Such wonderful leaders have come from here. And of course, a huge thank you to your incredible association executive, Abby Tannen. Abby, the work you do behind the scenes makes all of this possible. Your leadership, organization, and care for your members shines through everything this association achieves. As we celebrate today, let's remember that each of us has the power to shape the future of our profession by giving back, by investing in RPAC, and by, most importantly, mentoring the next generation of realtors. We're ensuring that our industry and our communities continue to thrive. So thank you again, Charlottesville Realtors, for your hospitality, your commitment, and heart. And congratulations to your new leadership team, and cheers to an amazing year ahead.
Thank you, Sherry. Sherry stole my speech, so everything she says, ditto.
Let's be truthful here. I had to share my speech, and he didn't share his. So there's no telling what he's going to say.
That is true, because we're going to go, but I said, I'm Rick Lugg, your Virginia Realtor CEO. Been on the job about 11 months now. Been around for about 16. And I will say, one of the things I did not know when I took the job back in January is just how much I would enjoy coming out to the local associations, engaging with the members, seeing the engagement that you bring to your association, and looking around, seeing all the faces that are involved at VAR just is rewarding, and it shows the strength of the partnerships that we have. Early on, I started talking about being stronger together. I do believe that we are stronger together. It is a effort of local, state, and national that brings the strength to the organization, and we need to work together, and we do work together to bring as much benefit as we can. We've been working at VAR to be more visible and more vocal on the issues that are driving the industry. We've done a study recently of housing needs. As you know, there's not enough houses out there. Our research team has calculated that we are 188,000 units short for people in the 80 to 150% AMI, which is the area median income. So 188,000 units that you're unable to buy, help people buy and sell. That is an issue. It's a #1 issue in our industry, and we are working, and in the upcoming legislation session that we're going to get into, we're going to introduce legislation to put a moratorium on the capital gains tax here in Virginia for your residences. We're going aggressive. We need to go after some money because that's how change happens. So we'll see how we're doing there, but it is our goal, and this is not a single solution issue where hey, that's what we do. This is going to be years of work trying to work with local communities who would rather have a data center than a residential neighborhood. They'd rather have economic development of Lego and different businesses, but make the people live in a different county. These are real issues that we're facing. We're working with the administration that's coming in. The good news is housing is front page news now. Housing affordability is front page news. So there is work that needs to get done. We do think that the people in Richmond will work to get that work done with us, and we'll be there to make sure that work is what we want it to be. Another key issue that we're trying to be a little more vocal and visible on is DPOR. I know, we talk about DPOR licensing taking a long time, but the reality of it is even the simplest of tasks, transferring brokerages and transferring people, it just takes too long. And we're changing our approach with them, working with the secretariat at the highest levels to see if we can do private-public partnerships, if we can figure out the Callahan Act to try to get more money infused. But we have a real problem there, and I made it a priority of our advocacy team to work on that at a higher priority. So we'll continue to do things like that. I'm here to do words of welcome, and again, we take a lot of energy from coming to these, seeing the different associations. We don't say this everywhere, but you have one of the best associations. It's part of the culture that you have here at Charlottesville. It's part of the culture that Abby continues to grow, and we're very appreciative of that because, again, we get these sheets and they show people that are involved, and usually it's one page. Yours is, you know what I mean? That's what it's about. We do appreciate it. I'll give a plug for Forewarn. If you don't use it, please do. It's both a fraud and safety deterrent. And then we have a tech helpline. So as we get into holidays, I know when I go see my family, they usually are like, here, fix this, and I get everything handed to me to fix. We have that tool for you. Use it. If you've run into an issue with your technology, give the tech helpline a call. It's always there as we move. And working on contracts. I know Reeves is on the contract rewrite, so we'll probably see a new contract coming out from us the first part of the year. It's been a year-long effort. We're socializing it a little, making sure we have it where we need it, but should get released. Reeves, what are we going to say, March? Is that fair? I told him next week, but he was pushing back. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And congratulations, Amanda.
Thanks, Sherry and Rick. We really appreciate you guys joining us this morning. At this time, our next guest, speaker, does not need any introduction, but he will be doing some motivational words for us, and it's Mr. Quentin Beckham.
Can you hear me? I have a sport coat and I was going to wear it, but after listening to Sherry talk, I was afraid you wouldn't be able to see my Platinum R Double Hall of Fame President Circle R-Pack pin. And it's hot up here. And so that was a great excuse. Thank you. How many of you have clear memories of 1983? Raise your hand. 1983. Clear, you know, like you can remember some things that happened. You know, if you do, that means that you've been around for more than half of CAAR's century-long existence. And we have the dubious honor in Virginia of having the highest median age of any local association across the state. You know, this comes with certain trappings. You get like cool new accessories. You get to wear comfortable shoes even when you're talking on stage. People just call you eccentric. That's a thing in Virginia. We're not crazy, we're eccentric. And it just got me to thinking about it. And I was talking to a friend from California. And we were talking about the 80s, which still feels like it was just 20 years ago to me. And I was thinking of 1983 because so many important things happened. We had the first woman in space, Sally Ride. Do you remember that? This funny little thing came out, internet protocols that designed something they decided to call web pages, where you could actually type in a web address and find a particular page. There was the first lesser known and celebrated, but first African-American in space, Guion Bluford. One of my favorite memories was gathering around the television when MTV still played music to watch the worldwide release of Michael Jackson's Thriller. It was an amazing movie. Also super important to me was I saved up enough money, $120 in 1983, to buy a Sony Walkman. It was incredible. I was walking through the halls of school. It was hanging off my belt. I had my own theme music going in my head, listening to Thriller. Cassette tapes, juggling and bouncing around in my backpack. And I felt so cool. It was amazing. People were talking to me. I could ignore them. Teachers, my parents, my siblings. You know, and I had different music for different things. I'd get to study hall and I'd switch out tapes and holiday. Study hall was the best, right? You remember study hall? Anybody have a Sony Walkman? You know, later on they were like, they had a Sony Discman. You remember that? It went on to become a hit that established Sony as a major business. Over 400 million units sold, hundreds of millions of dollars in money from way back in the day. And then 2001, another amazing thing happened to me. I was working by now, so I had more money, and I saved up $400, and I bought an iPod. And I'm not trying to like focus on divides because I know there's iPhone people and there's Android people, and you're probably about 50-50. I'm not trying to go there, but it was also great because I didn't have to switch cassette tapes anymore. My backpack got cleaner. You remember the little dial you could spin and it had that really pleasing clicking noise? And you'd like Machine Gun Kelly through 100 different songs. And it had this huge memory. It was 5 gigabytes. That was pretty amazing. You could have like 1,000 songs on that little brick that hung more gently off your belt. Other fun things happened in 2001. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was released. Remember that? The first Xbox went on sale. And of course, there was 9/11. iPod went on to sell over 450 million units and launched a great money producer for Apple, the iTunes Store. 2007 came around. By then, I was working as a nurse practitioner doing organ transplant stuff. And I saved up $500 and I bought my first iPhone. How many of you have an iPhone? Yeah, about half the room, about 50-50, a little more than half. That same year in 2007, the final Harry Potter was released, the last movie. We had the first female Speaker of the House. And we had the deadliest mass shooting in the history of the United States at Virginia Tech. It's interesting to have, like, more doctor's appointments than committee meetings because you reach a certain age and it starts to feel that way. But it's also interesting to have perspective. I was working in hospitals when we first went from paper charting to electronic charting. And oh my God, what a nightmare. We hated it. Because anything we wanted to say, we could just write in the margins. If we didn't like how it was put together, we could reshape it. And suddenly, we had to use computers and there were limitations. And we just thought it was going to be the death of us and the end of the world. And it was so bad that the company that installed the software for us, company that is now called Epic, hired a gal, Maggie, whose whole job, 5 days a week, was to come to our ICU and help us figure out how to use this damn computer to chart all the things we needed to chart in a way that would work. Maggie was sweet. She was one of those people, like, she knew your kids' names, she knew your birthday, she knew your favorite food. Not because she was weird, but just because she truly enjoyed people and wanted you to feel seen. And she and I were coming into work at the same time. And, she's got her phone. And by then, like, your phone was your wallet and it had all your stuff on it. And she punches the button to go up to the floor that she's working on, drops her phone. It bounces and falls right down between that crack between the floor and the edge of the elevator. And we were sitting there just quiet for like 30 seconds. And she realized, the look of panic on her face because her whole life was now stolen from her by the elevator. So she goes to the security guard, who she also knew by name. His name was Roy, and explains to him what happened. And she's like, what do I do? He's like, well, amazingly, this happens. And it costs about $500 to get a tech to come out. And they lift up the elevator and he crawls down and he gets your phone back. She's like, well, I got to go work, but I guess if I have to pay the $500, I have to pay the $500. So she comes back up to the unit and she and I were working together, and Roy, that she said good morning to every day and talked to, called her and he's like, I was looking at the elevator and the inspection is due next month. And so I just called and I got it a week early. And I've got your phone and it won't cost you a dime. We live in an interesting era in real estate. There's a mix of old and new, and there's a lot of anxiety about where we fit. I don't think anybody's doing Sony Walkman real estate anymore, but there's probably some of us that are doing iPod real estate and still trying to figure out how to use the technology involved in iPhone real estate. Interestingly, do you know how long it took for how long Sony kept selling Walkmans when they finally stopped production? What year do you think that was in? 2010. They sold those and made money off of them until 2010. Do you know when Apple stopped production of all the iPod variations? 3 years ago. And I think it points out to me that there's these big bridge spaces, and some of us have probably been around long enough to remember living in them. And I think we're probably living in them again, where what you're doing, what's been successful, what's made us money, is still good, but it's coasting to a stop, and we're riding the momentum. And we have to decide to embrace what's ahead. We have to decide to embrace technology. We have to decide to embrace diversity and equity. We have to decide to embrace the fact that we can accomplish things in association with one another that we cannot accomplish alone. And I know that sometimes this makes people very fearful because they don't need us to find houses anymore. And you have companies suing each other and fighting over who gets to be the one that they type in that webpage for that started in 1983. But there's always a space in every advance of technology where the human matters. That problem of the phone that can get fixed because of a relationship. Your tool is not the MLS. Yes, it is a tool. But the thing you bring to the table that cannot be duplicated is the goodwill you've established with other people in this room that may not even work in your same brokerage. That ability to fix those things that the contract cannot address. And we do that by working in association and establishing trust so that when you tell the other side, hey, I'm going to take care of this and fix it, they know it's actually going to happen. You do it by bringing to bear the years of experience that we have, that perspective that doesn't just make us old, but also makes us valuable, that has dealt with these problems over and over in combination with the technology that brings the clients to you in the first place. And these things happen in rooms like this, with people like you, in associations like this. You have a about to be president here that needs your support and also needs to hear your voice about what is and is not working. You have a going to be president in 27 sitting in the room for the state association, all committed to making the realtor remain the center of the transaction, enabled by technology instead of being replaced by technology. And you've done a great job of getting us through the 100 years so far. Thank you for tolerating me for this 10 minutes, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your morning.
Amazing words. Thank you, Quentin. That's awesome. All right, we're going to celebrate what we've seen these 100 years, especially this year. I want to share some numbers with you from this year. CAAR donated $35,000 to support the CAAR Foundation and its efforts to make positive change on the local affordable housing front. And a special thanks to the CAAR Foundation for all that they're doing in the community. CAAR provided 353 hours of education delivered both in person and via Zoom through the Central Virginia School of Real Estate and its Cruising CAAR program, where CAAR instructors teach at other brokerages around the Central Virginia area, as well as around the Commonwealth too. We had 113 volunteers provide their expertise, time, and energy to CAAR this year through committees, councils, and project teams. 90% of Hillsdale Conference Center revenue is generated by non-CAAR members. This is awesome. Our wedding venue has been the location for weddings, baby showers, graduations, and memorials. We have also welcomed various organizations focusing on education, religion, transportation, and commerce. The Hillsdale Conference Center has been thriving and growing in population and popularity, making it well-deserving of a new, modern, and user-friendly website with clear calls to action. So great new website. If you haven't had a chance to explore it, we launched it yesterday, and we encourage you to check it out today. Let's go into more detail and highlight additional accomplishments in 2025 attributed to our committees, councils, and project team members. The Communications Committee encouraged members to lend their time and energy to 3 Habitat for Humanity of Greater Charlottesville Build Days. They also launched the new awards and nominations system called Reviewer, offering a streamlined process and user-friendly experience for our awards. Additionally, the committee received a $2,500 Virginia Realtors Community Engagement Grant, which was invested in various advertising to communicate the value of the realtor in the community, and also the CAAR Foundation. Great work, communications team. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee created inclusive social media content and promoted events that celebrate diversity across the community, demonstrating how realtors champion initiatives that foster a welcoming and inclusive environment. They also promoted fair housing by challenging our membership to complete the National Association of Realtors Fair Haven 2.0 training over the summer. Thank you, DEI committee. The Emerging Technologies Committee collaborated with the MLS committee to explore and evaluate new tools, products, and benefits to support realtors in growing and enhancing their businesses. Thank you to everyone who served on this committee. The MLS committee had a lot going on this year, a lot of work. Successfully implemented Trestle, which is a data feed management platform that optimizes contract management and simplifies the distribution of our MLS data to vendors and other brokerages. So very helpful for us as an MLS. Also prioritize consumers and member feedback to add coming soon listings in all of our syndicated data feeds. Thank you to everyone who reached out on that. I really appreciate the feedback. In addition, they delivered an MLS rules and regulations update based off of the National Association of Realtors mandate for multiple listing options. And we continued our partnerships with Bright, with Harrisonburg Rockingham, and Greater Augusta Association of Realtors as well. Thank you to the MLS committee. It was a lot of work, very heavy lifts this year. The Operations Committee, we continue to monitor the financial stability of the association as we balance growth, opportunity, change, and the reality of inflation with our budget, alongside the budget and finance project team. This is another heavy lift. They also evaluated and improved capital improvement projects for the Hillsdale Conference Center that will streamline processes, boost efficiency, and drive sales, equipping the Hillsdale Conference Center with the tools it needs to realize its full potential as a thriving non-dues revenue entity for the association. Thank you to everyone who served on the Operations Committee. The Professional Development Committee, we listened to members' biggest challenges and developed latte and learn presentations that covered various topics such as buyer representation, appraisal updates, and had the school superintendents as well. So again, about that relational capital. Thank you to everyone there. They also delivered the CAAR Annual Development and Economic Summit, which was very valuable and brought valuable perspectives on market trends, economic shifts, and what's ahead for the local, state, and national real estate market. The Professional Standards Committee completed the mandatory grievance and professional standards training, and we're prepared to uphold the code of ethics should they be called to participate in a hearing at the local or state level. I had joked that I was going to read the whole code of ethics today as my exit speech, but I'm not going to do that for you guys. Maybe next time. The Public Affairs Committee held a Realtor Day on the Hill where members urged Senate and House representatives to support the Virginia Realtors legislative agenda and other key bills impacting homeownership and property rights. They recommended candidates for local realtors, a political action committee funding based on interviews, and advised the board to support the low barrier shelter initiative in the city of Charlottesville. And also just a quick plug, don't miss the Public Affairs Committee pancakes and politics on Wednesday, December 10th, where we'll have the local delegates discuss topics such as affordable housing, transportation, and also economic development. Finally, we have the Charlottesville Young Professionals Network, which always does some amazing stuff. They partnered with the Professional Development Committee to deliver a latte and learn focused on 1031 exchanges. They also fundraised through a GoFundMe and will donate the remaining revenue to 5 nonprofit organizations. Thank you guys so much for all your work. And the Commercial Council, they maintain the commercial MLS platform, which feeds all the data for the CVC MLS, and also implement improvements to enhance the user experience. Our two councils, Broker Council, reinvigorated town hall meetings that significantly boosted member engagement and fostered constructive, results-driven conversations. These were excellent. Thanks to everyone who came out for the town hall meetings. They also offered valuable feedback on various MLS recommendations and general association activities. This feedback is vital. Past Presidents Council provided historical CAAR insights and shared perspectives on the current real estate market, along with ongoing evaluation and feedback on CAAR's strategic initiatives for the year. And much like what Quentin said, just the wealth of knowledge that's in this room and that continues to pour into our association is vital for its health and growth as we continue to move forward. Our Realtor Political Action Committee also known as RPAC, surpassed its fundraising, participation, and major investor goals for the 11th year in a row to earn the National Association of Realtors Triple Crown Award, which is awesome. And I thank you to Denise and Jay and Mozzie and Jessica, all the people who were on the RPAC fundraising this year. Members supported RPAC through annual dues, as well as attendance at fundraising events such as the YPN Waterpalooza. Through these efforts, we raised $71,907.39 with 42.64% membership participation. That's 435 investors. We have 34 major investors, and those are members who have given $1,000 or more to RPAC this year. Thank you to everyone who has contributed this year, no matter what the amount was. It's super important, and every dollar counts and supports the realtor voice. And it's not too late. It's not too late. December 15th. Awesome. All right. So see Denise before you leave today. All right. I can't thank our volunteers enough. Your participation and perspectives drive the association. It's a collective that really makes everything happen. You've listened to a tremendous number of achievements from this year, and I hope it encourages you to get involved for next year. If you are interested in volunteering with CAAR next year, you can complete the 2026 volunteer form today. And I know you'll gain so much from volunteering. If you haven't yet, or you want to try a different committee, please get involved. As you know, CAAR is celebrating a tremendous milestone this year, our 100th anniversary. To celebrate, we've done several events. We've had a series of celebrations, including our official proclamations being read during state and local government sessions, our centennial barbecue, various chances to win a $100 Amazon gift card as part of our historical trivia. And to reflect on CAAR's past, present, and future, we'll watch the last video in our series of videos where we're sharing moments from over the years. So. All right. Well, as part of our milestone celebration, we encourage members to donate to CAAR, the CAAR Foundation, for a chance to win free local 2026 realtor or affiliate dues. To announce the winner, I have none other than Dave Norris, Executive Director for the CAAR Foundation, to come up and tell us who won.
Well, thank you, Josh, and thank you so much for the support that CAAR has provided our work at the CAAR Foundation. And thank you to all of you who have donated to the CAAR Foundation. We have a list here of people who have donated through the QR code to the foundation in honor of the 100th anniversary of CAAR. So we appreciate CAAR including the foundation in its year-long celebration. And now to announce our lucky winner, let's have a little drum roll. Donna Goings. Donna will receive free local realtor dues for 2026. Thank you all again for donating to the foundation. And Josh, I will hand it back to you.
Is Donna here? I don't think Donna, yeah, okay. Well, congratulations to Donna. That's awesome. All right, this time I want to recognize several more influential members for their outstanding service to CAAR in 2025. Our outgoing board members. I'm going to invite the following members to join me on stage and accept a small token of our appreciation. First of all, Ann Burrows, our immediate past president. Next, Woody Fincham, our treasurer. Jeff Matty, one of our directors. Jessica Russo. I skipped Kyle just to kind of keep things interesting for you guys. Yeah, Kyle Olson. And last but not least, Candace Vanderlyn. Oh yeah, and Candace was, I already gave Candace her gift. I just now recall that from this picture. So it's great to have photo evidence sometimes. So Candace isn't available to be here today, but luckily I gave her this gift last week. So we have officially made it 100 years as an association. And thank you to everyone who has served in recent years. And again, what an incredible milestone and a testimony to the legacy and work of so many. I am so grateful to have been able to serve as president during our centennial year and continue a long line of successful leaders who have shaped CAAR into an incredibly productive and active association in our state. It's been an incredible year of celebration and change. The real estate industry continues to morph at a lightning pace, and the association has proved to be nimble and proactive thanks to our incredible volunteers and staff. I'm always glad to hear the highlight reel of all the important work that is being done each year as we wrap up one year and transition to another. As I reflect on what we've accomplished this year and the many challenges facing us as brokerages, agents, and the association, I'm reminded that there has never been a time when it's more important for us to focus on collegiality and professionalism with one another. When the market gets tough or we're faced with challenges in our business, having a colleague who is encouraging and helpful on the other side of the transaction just means so much more than it does before. I think we're blessed with an incredible association and one where people seriously buy in. However, we need more participation from members in order to continue to do the very important work of local advocacy for real property rights for our clients and for our businesses. We need more agents to take an interest in pushing our profession forward into the future and be willing to question how to continue to make the association as relevant as possible to our business and confront changes like artificial intelligence and a continued environment of litigation and risk management. I would encourage you to tap the shoulder of someone at your brokerage who is passionate about our industry to get involved. It's only through those who are practitioners of the business that we can make the business better for everyone. Let's continue to lift one another up, encourage one another, and celebrate our wins in our local market together. I'm incredibly excited for the future of CAAR, and I have a few special thanks and accolades to extend. First of all, a very heartfelt thank you to Abby, Allie, and the CAAR staff. They truly go above and beyond to create an incredible atmosphere at CAAR for everyone who enters the door. Our success and would not be possible at all without their very hard work and creativity. Secondly, thanks to my executive committee, Ann Burrows, Woody Fincham, Amanda Spigoni, and Abby. We got a ton of things done this year, but we also laughed a lot and had some really great synergy. So it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys. Lastly, I want to thank Amanda for stepping up to lead our association in 2026. Your passion for our association and for the industry is unparalleled. You've had real estate in your blood since before you were born, and it shows. And I'm grateful to pass the gavel to you, and I'm looking forward to all the wonderful things that you'll do next year as our leader. Congratulations. Now I'd like to take a minute to celebrate our President's Award recipients for 2025. It fills me with joy to be able to recognize these two individuals who bring so much energy and spirit to our great organization. The first recipient will come as no surprise to anyone who has been around the association for any length of time. Her tireless commitment to our industry, her never-ending quest for more knowledge in classes, and her willingness to help everyone no matter which brokerage you call home make her a magnetic personality, to say the least. Her sage wisdom and advice is just a phone call away, and she is consistently pouring into others even when they don't realize it. I've enjoyed getting to know her at many conferences and classes that we've attended over the past few years. She never misses a conference and is always the first one to ask you what you learned or gleaned from a session. Not to mention, she's probably one of the most fashionable people you'll ever meet. I've been so grateful for your advice, friendship, and encouragement. Arlene Yobbs, please join me on the stage. You know, Arlene could be just out at Old Trail sitting on the golf course, but she continues to come to CAAR, and she's just such an inspiring person. So. Our next recipient needs no introduction, as he knows literally everyone, not just locally, but in every municipality, town, and also at the state level as well. He is also so well respected by those who not only agree with him, but also by those who don't. He spends countless hours in meetings where sometimes he's the only one there, aside from the people being paid to be in the room. His advocacy is unashamedly selfless, and he truly goes to bat for CAAR in more ways that can be counted. If you haven't had a chance to talk to this individual in a one-on-one atmosphere, invite him to lunch. He'll prove to be one of the smartest and well-read people you've ever encountered. He also wears some rad socks and has a collection that rivals Hollywood. We're so fortunate to have him as an advocate, not just for real estate, and property rights in Central Virginia, but also as a resource who knows all things local government and has a command of both micro and macroeconomics. Our businesses would suffer, and so would transactions, if it weren't for the hard work and exhaustive writing and advocacy that Neil Williamson does through CAAR and the Free Enterprise Forum. Neil. Yeah, solid. Neil, we're so grateful for you and for your very diligent efforts on behalf of the membership. And now on to the stars of the show, on to the installation of the 2026 officers and directors. Many of you may remember Rick Spigoni. As an active member of CAAR, today his involvement is more personal. He is here as father of our incoming president, Amanda Spigoni. Thank you, Rick, for continuing to give back to the realtor community. Rick, I'm going to hand the meeting over to you to perform the respective oaths for our incoming leadership.
Thank you, Josh. I'm delighted to continue my involvement in CAAR while supporting and honoring Amanda today. We will first induct the 2026 Board of Officers and Directors and then install our presidents separately. As I read the following names, I request these members join me on the stage. The following members have been newly elected as officers and directors. Kevin Wilberger, President-elect. Georgia Lindsay, Treasurer. Zoya Claus, Director. Lori Falk, Director. Ivy Haynes, Director. Aaron Howell, Director. Jessica Rousseau, Director. And Francesca San Giorgio, Director. I will now announce the returning officers and directors. Josh White, immediate past president. Kim Armstrong, director. Roxanne Carter Johnston, director. Matthew Holt, director. And Janice O'Hara, director. It is assumed by your acceptance of your offices in the Board of Directors for the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors that you are in full accord with the objectives of this local association, the Virginia Realtors and the National Association of Realtors. These objectives are to encourage and foster high ethical standards in our profession, to take an active interest in the welfare of your city, county, and state, to develop service as the basis of worthy enterprise, to interchange ideas, business methods, and transactions with other realtors, and to oppose harmful legislation and to strive for legislation beneficial to real estate and property ownership. The obligations are to attend meetings regularly and to fill your respective offices in a manner which reflects positively on the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors, on the state and national associations, and on yourself. To make the decisions your office requires, and to see the various committees perform their duties as delegated. I'll now administer the oath of office. Please raise your right hand. Do each of you solemnly and sincerely promise that you will administer the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability and judgment and in conformity with the bylaws of your association? That you will observe and enforce the Realtor Code of Ethics? That you will uphold and support the local, state, and national associations? That you will uphold and support the Virginia Real Estate Board and its enforcement of the license law, and that you, in all of your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of our state, the high purpose of your association, and the welfare of its members. If you so subscribe, answer by saying, "I do." Thank you. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I do proclaim that you are officially installed to the office to which you have been elected. Kevin and Georgia, I have a special pin for each of you. Remaining officers and directors, you may return to your seats. tell me what. Before I ask the past presidents to assemble in front of the stage for the passing of the gavel tradition, I would like to share a few words about your CAAR 2026 president, Amanda Spagoni. Let me pull out my predated Sony Walkman. Good morning, everyone. I'm extremely proud to have this opportunity to make a few remarks. I started in the real estate business in 1981. Interest rates were at 17 to 18%. Fixed rate mortgages were said to be a thing of the past. The health of the real estate market was measured often by the thickness of the MLS books that came out each week. You could be that thick. I was lucky to be surrounded by icons in the Charlottesville real estate industry, names you will recognize. My brother-in-law, Steve Runkle, who was responsible for me entering the real estate business in the first place. Frank Kessler, a true visionary and the best salesperson I've ever met. Daley Craig, the founder of Craig Builders, a local institution and still going strong. And someone who's become a lifelong friend, Charlie Armstrong, who entered the real estate business at the same time as me. We both came to the business world from the educational field. We both shared similar hopes and insecurities, but we were there to support each other. I'm lucky to have had the support of my family. We have 3 grown daughters, all of whom live here locally. One is here today. I have 2 grandsons. Actually, 2 are here today, aren't they? So easy to forget. I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter, all Amanda's children. And my wife of 53 years, Carol, who keeps everything together and makes it all worthwhile. But today is about Amanda. She is about to take the oath of office as your president, and I am one proud father. From an early age, she showed an interest in real estate. Rather than just one dollhouse in our house, we have an entire subdivision. But I'm sure that some of those houses are in violation of an architectural review board somewhere. In 1989, we lived in Ivy on a 2-acre parcel that backed up to a farm. Forest Lakes was in its early stages of development, and I had planned a grand opening celebration on Memorial Day weekend centered around the opening of the area's largest swimming pool, complete with a water slide. And this was before probably more than a half a dozen people actually lived in Forest Lake. This was a big day for all of us associated with Forest Lakes, and the event was exceeding everyone's expectations. Amanda and I were having lunch in the snack bar when Frank Kessler approached us with his chest puffed out because he was pretty proud to see how far we had come in this development in a short time. Well, actually, it was a long time. "What do you think, Amanda?" he asked her. She gushed, "Mr. Kessler, this is fabulous." Frank then asked her, "Well, then how come you don't live here?" Amanda replied, "Well, everyone in our family wants to, Mr. Kessler. It's Dad who doesn't." Amanda made her first sale that day because we moved into our new home in Forest Lakes 1 year later. She was 13. Beginning as my assistant in 1999 with a simple job description to anticipate what I need and do it before I have to ask, I've watched her evolve into a knowledgeable, honest, hard-working professional, a true leader. Again, her mother and I could not be more proud of the daughter, the mother, the professional, and the person that she has become. And I am honored to administer the oath of office to her as your president. Amanda? I know. Before I ask the past presidents to assemble at the front of the stage for the passing of the gavel, I already said that. Will all the past presidents of CAAR who are present, y'all needed a little lightheartedness, didn't you, in this? Will all past presidents of CAAR who are present today join us and assemble in chronological order in front of the stage, descending from Josh's presidency, and Josh will be on the stairs. If you need a reminder when you were president, please reference the screen.
I told you this is always the funny.
Amanda, you have been okay, some decorum now. Amanda, you have been elected to the office of president for the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors for 2026. Will you accept this position? If so, please answer yes, I will. The preamble to the Realtor Code of Ethics states that realtors are zealous to maintain and improve the standards of their calling and share with their fellow realtors a common responsibility for its integrity and honor. Your role as an officer of the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors places you at the center of this responsibility as guardian of our profession and of property rights. Your conduct must be a model of the Realtor Code of Ethics. Your knowledge about the real estate industry must be up to date, and your commitment and attitude about realtor leadership should be inspiring to those who someday will follow you. Always remember to strike a healthy balance between your realtor responsibilities and those of your family, your health, and your business. The integrity and honor you bring to this organization must always be founded on the strength of your business and personal life. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability and judgment, in conformity with the Constitution and bylaws of this association. That you will observe and enforce the Realtor Code of Ethics. That you will uphold and support the Virginia license law and applicable rules. That you will actively support the mission and objectives of this association, as well as those of the Virginia Realtors and National Associations of Realtors. That you will, in all of your actions, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and promote and safeguard the best interests of the Realtor Association and the welfare of its membership. Do you so subscribe? Please answer, yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
Now, the passing of the gavel carries with it duties and responsibilities of the presidency of this association. It should always be used judiciously with wisdom, vision, honor, and integrity. Past presidents, please pass the gavel.
Oh. Mind out.
I do hereby proclaim you to be the duly installed into the office of president of this association. Thank you to the past presidents for being part of this ceremony. You may return to your seats, as will I.
Josh, could you please stay with me at the podium, please? I would like to sincerely thank Josh for his dedication and leadership to CAAR as president for the past year. Josh, you have done an extraordinary job leading our association, and we have a few tokens of appreciation to present to you, including a gavel plaque, a past president's pen, and a gift card to the Great Outdoor Provision Company.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
And Dad was trying to give me a past president. Yes. Here's your
Oh,
past
thank you so
president
much. I
pen.
appreciate that. Very cool. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So some of this you will have heard already because we kind of had the same stories being in the same family, but it's an honor today to stand before you as your 2026 CAAR president. When I think about what it means to arrive at this moment, one word keeps rising to the surface: resilience. Because no journey in real estate, and certainly no path in leadership, is ever a straight line. Resilience for us looks like staying steady through shifting markets and adapting to new laws, new technologies, and new expectations, and still finding the energy to show up for our clients, for each other, and for this association. But resilience isn't just endurance, it's evolution. It's what happens when deals fall through, when committee projects feel endless, or when leadership requires more patience than you thought you had, and somehow you grow anyway. I've learned that resilience builds quietly. It shows up in early mornings following up with a client who isn't ready. It shows up in the afternoons spent volunteering when your business could really use you back at your desk. It shows up in moments when you question why you said yes, and the moment you remember exactly why you did. And here's the thing about resilience. It's what allows us to come full circle. Pink Floyd has a line in their song Time about running to catch up with the sun, only to circle back around behind you again. And that's exactly how leadership can feel. You push, you hustle, you stretch yourself, and then one day you look up and realize you've arrived at a place you only hoped you'd reach. Full circle, but wiser, steadier, and deeply aware of how far you've come. For me, resilience has always been modeled close to home. When I was 5, my parents moved our family from Madison to Charlottesville so my dad could pursue a career in real estate. Interest rates were 18%, homes started at $55,000, and even in that climate, he built a life and career that supported our family. But he didn't do it alone. While my dad was building his real estate career, my mom was in the classroom teaching school. She was a steady heartbeat in the background, grading papers at night, pouring into her students, and there are students who still come up to her today and say she was her favorite teacher of all time. And still somehow finding the energy to pour into us at home. The stability she created made it possible for my dad to take risks in real estate, and it modeled a different kind of resilience: quiet, consistent, faithful. I loved that my dad sold real estate. It meant he could chaperone field trips or be the parent who stayed home with me when I was sick from school. And on those sick days, I got to watch movies I probably wasn't old enough to watch. Eat things I definitely wasn't supposed to. Those were the best days. Sometimes I'd go to his office, the big brick building on 29, and he was meticulous. His desk calendar, his color-coded pens, his perfectly organized folders. If I got to sit at his desk, I'd leave in little love notes in his desk blotter, fill empty squares with flowers. I draw furniture in his marketing brochures. It drove him crazy, but I thought he had the coolest job in the world. In 1986, he became the marketing director for a brand new concept, a neighborhood with pools and walking trails and tennis courts. It was the planned community called Forest Lakes, as you guys heard. It was bold, unfamiliar, and honestly, it was controversial. But I didn't care about any of that. I just knew it had the biggest pool in Central Virginia with a water slide, and because my dad was marketing director, I got to go and I got to bring my friends. In 1999, I was floundering. I was the one searching for direction. And on a trip to St. John, while celebrating one of his many successes, he said he needed help and maybe I should get my real estate license. So I did, and everything clicked. All those years of tagging along and listening, it had soaked in. The early years were humble. I was a copy girl. I delivered contracts. I picked up contracts. I made copies of contracts. I made packets. I filed papers. But more importantly, I watched him. I listened. I learned, and I loved every minute of it. For 10 years off and on, I worked by his side. And whether I was with a builder in property management or back in sales, my heart always pulled me towards real estate and towards community. He always told me, be involved, meet the agents you'll eventually work with. Relationships make business smoother when things go sideways. Of course, he was right. So I jumped in. Women's Council of Realtors, the Hillsdale Conference Center, project team, professional development, and more. It didn't take long to learn that serving this association didn't just make me a better volunteer, it made me a better agent, and it made me a better leader. For many of us, that first association meeting feels like a blur. You walk in unsure of what you have to offer, surrounded by people who seem to know the rhythm. And then one day, you realize you are the rhythm. You're welcoming others in. You're answering the questions. You're helping someone find their footing. And that's the circle. You're no longer just a participant, you've become a steward. And leadership at its heart is stewardship. It's knowing that the work we do today is part of something that began long before us and will continue long after. We each take a turn carrying the mission forward, strengthening what's been built, and leaving it just a little bit better. My dad retired from sales in 2011, but kept his license active while running the Real Estate 3 title insurance team. This August, he told me he was going to let it lapse at the end of September. And I said, how about you don't? What if you kept it for one more cycle? What if you were my assistant while I serve as president? So my full circle moment is here. My dad is coming out of retirement so I can serve you better. The man who introduced me to this industry is going to help me lead it. It doesn't get more full circle than that. And I would not be standing here without my mom. Her years of teaching, her steady support, her belief in both of us created the foundation for everything I'm able to do today. Mom, thank you for holding our family together while Dad built his business, and for showing me what quiet strength really looks like. Today isn't just an installation, it's a continuation, another turn in that circle. We've watched this association weather market highs and market lows, shifting expectations and shifting public perception. And through all of it, one thing has remained constant. When realtors come together with purpose, with collaboration, with resilience, we rise. The next year, our challenge is to keep that spirit alive, to stay relevant and by staying connected, to keep educating, innovating, and showing the community the heart of who we are. We'll face challenges, we always do, but resilience is now part of our DNA. We've learned to pivot, to support one another, to adapt and move forward together. Coming full circle means honoring where we began, the mentors, the colleagues, the lessons, even the missteps, and using all of it as fuel for what's next. To every member who's served, volunteered, mentored, or simply shown up, thank you. You're the reason this association stands strong. And to those stepping into new roles today, lean into this moment. Leadership won't always be easy, but it'll always be meaningful. Trust the process, trust each other, and remember, resilience isn't just surviving the hard days, it's transforming them into growth. As we begin this next chapter together, may we keep learning, keep serving, keep coming full circle with gratitude, with purpose, with unwavering belief in what we do matters. And I am so excited. People would always ask Dad and I how it was working together, and he would always reply, she has not quit, and I haven't fired her. So I would say successfully, Dad, turnaround's fair play. Alongside me as your president, I'm thrilled to share the chairs and vice chairs of our committees and councils for next year. Again, if you are interested in serving on a committee or project team, please complete the 2026 volunteer form today. Invitations to serve will go out soon. On behalf of the board, please know we value your membership with CAAR. And thank you for being a CAAR member. And we are offering you at no cost, this is the new thing that we just did, four Sweet 16 series where we'll offer the 16 continuing education credits or CE on license renewal, 2 broker CE days, and CE classes following the 3 general membership meetings. So at no cost, you can take your CE. We hope this new benefit will make your life easier, expand your connections, and help you save money. The first batch of CE classes will be offered in January. New realtors, don't forget we're offering you an opportunity to obtain 50% of your first year CAAR realtor dues if you complete the new realtor incentive. It's a great program that will help you become a well-rounded agent. To conclude this morning's meeting, I would like to welcome the following new realtor members. If you are a new realtor and you to please introduce yourself to us. Raise your hand and staff will bring you the microphone. Do you have any new members? Some look like it. In addition, I would like to welcome the following new affiliate members. Same offer applies. If you're a new affiliate, I invite you to introduce yourself to all of us. Raise your hand and staff will bring you your microphone. Is there any new? Okay. Please check the calendar and events, the education and events calendar for upcoming education, events, and programs. Again, thank you for joining us today. It means a lot. I look out and I see so many familiar faces, some I've known for a long time. Again, thank you for joining us, and I wish you a happy holidays. This meeting is adjourned.